Suddenly, your world changes. You're in a place you never imagined. You don't feel like yourself anymore. You feel alone, but you're not. Other people with spinal cord injuries know exactly what you're going through because they've been there themselves. They're the voices of experience, and they can help you get through this. In the weeks and months that follow a spinal cord injury, many people wonder if sports activities will still be possible for them. Maybe you're wondering that too.
I was a huge athlete my entire life. Sports was my life. I had a reputation. It was part of my identity. All my friends played sports. So I think that's why after this injury, I was really scared about what life was going to be like if I couldn't play sports again. So my favorite sport that I was introduced to was wheelchair ice hockey, and that was such a powerful and empowering experience for me because that was the first time when I started playing ice hockey that I felt like an athlete again.
I heard about this tournament and I showed up with my family and I saw these guys doing these amazing things in the wheelchair. I wonder, I'm supposed to be fragile, people were falling, but they were coming right back up by themselves. And after the game, high fives, and then they approached me, so what's going on? When are you gonna come and play? And I'm like, no, dude, I don't do that, I'm not like you, I'm gonna be okay. I'm waiting for that cure, that pill, the potion, whatever. Come on, man, just here, call this guy up. It's softball season. Softball, what do you know, the Chicago 16-inch softball? Yeah, in a wheelchair. Well, I'll go to second, and they started hitting at me and throwing it, and I go, wow, this can be done. There's there's community here.
I was very active before my injury. I hiked a mountain 2 and 3 times a week. I taught trampoline aerobics. Fitness was a big part of my life. So how did I fill that hole? Adaptive sports. I joined the water ski team here and I learned how to water ski. And I competed in the nationals last October and I won a bronze in trick skiing and a silver in slalom.
I was a runner before. I ran cross country in college and track and field. And one of my lifelong goals was to run a marathon. And I used to pray sometimes and ask, God, I still want to fulfill that. I still want to run a marathon. How can I do that? I got into hand cycling, and less than a year later, I did my first marathon. So I completed my marathon.
I've tried every sport there probably is. Tennis is my favorite. The best thing about tennis to me is I can go play anybody. I don't have to play other chair players. I play in an able-bodied league. We have several chair leagues here, but it's so big that I can pick up my chair, throw it in my car. There's very minimal equipment. You have a chair and a tennis racket, and you can play. You can play an able body and be competitive.
I love adaptive sports. I think my favorite is snow skiing. I've been snow skiing several times and it is so much fun. It's just being adventurous. It's getting out of my comfort zone. And so I don't know, anything that's adventurous, I'm gonna give it a shot.
I was fortunate that about 6 months after my injury in the city of Philadelphia, there was a program called Rec Day. And it gave an opportunity for people with disabilities to go and try different things. So I went down, I jumped on a hand cycle. I had a very experienced person try to, help me get started, and I loved it. It helped build my confidence. It gave me the ability to improve my transfers, build strength up. I think what I loved the most about hand cycling as well was it gave me the opportunity to get out of the chair and fly.
I am going to the Marine Corps Marathon in Washington, D.C. and I actually have a team that I'm a part of, and there's nothing, I didn't think I would ever be able to be a part of a team again, and it feels so good to just be a part of something.
I discovered that perhaps I could dance in my wheelchair. I don't pretend that it is the same as being a stand-up dancer. Nevertheless, it allows me the creativity, the freedom of movement, the experience of moving in time and space to music and to choreograph.
One of the things I did as a kid is many of you may remember big wheels. I couldn't use my feet, so what I'd do is I took the seat off of the big wheel and I would kneel on the big wheel and put my chest into the handlebars. And then I would reach over and I would pedal the big wheel by my hands. And I was able to steer the big wheel by turning my chest to the left or to right if I wanted to turn. And I'd be able to pretty much keep up with any kid on my block with that big wheel. Now I'm very active in adaptive sports. Scuba diving is one of my favorite sports. I also play sled hockey. It's basically played the way as regular ice hockey is played, and we're in a specially adapted sled with 2 hockey sticks. We wear all the same equipment that a hockey player would wear, and you basically play hockey like everybody else would.
Adaptive sports changed my life for the better. And not only that, it gave me an outlet to impact other people's lives. Because when I got involved with wheelchair bodybuilding, I was so amazed with seeing all these adaptive athletes. And to this day, I'm the voice of wheelchair bodybuilding.
Quad rugby is almost like American football. It's a rough sport. I mean, we crash, we hit each other. It's a great sport, but it's pretty rough. It's not for the faint of heart. But I enjoy it. I mean, you let out a lot of aggression, you know?
It's great for camaraderie, figuring out more things with people who have disabilities, just because most people I talk to don't have a disability and they don't understand what I'm going through, but when I'm there, I can figure stuff out, and it's really been wonderful.
I'm a player for the wheelchair rugby team here in Chicago. That's all I do. It's a life. Wheelchair rugby is a wheelchair sport for people with dysfunction in all 4 extremities. The majority of the players are quadriplegic. It's a full contact sport. It's playing a basketball court, and it's a lot of fun. It's pretty rough.
Wheelchair rugby definitely, one, allowed me to be around a bunch of people who have the same injury level as me, and I'm able to learn a lot from them because it's a quadriplegic focused sport. Once you sit down with a quadriplegic who's like, I'm gonna show you how I do it, it just clicks so easily. I had a huge learning curve, and I'm still learning, and it's so much fun, so much fun.
Actually, I was still an inpatient when I first started conditioning with the team. So I still had my collar on and everything. I wasn't allowed to get hit, but just the physical activity was awesome. It was, watching, you think it's so much easier than it is until you get out there. I remember like the first time they put me in a scrimmage to play, it was like the whole play went by and I was like, what just happened? I could not figure it out, and that pretty much still happens now. I'm not very good at it, but I enjoy being out there.
It's the best thing that's happened to me in my life. Wheelchair sports is, I recommend that to anybody that's in a wheelchair. Get out there and try it. Just try it and you will get hooked on it. But don't say, I can't. Never say you can't. You try it and you'll be surprised what you can do.
If you want to go fast, travel alone. If you want to go far, travel together. In sports is going far in disability. It helps you pull together in a community.
Well, adaptive sports are very important in my life. They're what I am. And, I get all choked up, but because I'm a man, I'm not supposed to do that. But without that, I'm that person that I wasn't supposed to do anything.
Don't be afraid to get out there and find a recreational therapist, find an adaptive sports program. It may not be the ideal activity that you want to do, but if you call that recreational therapist after you've left the hospital, they're going to know someone or they're going to know something, because we've all worked with so many patients getting them involved in the community that they will find the activity that you and or your family member want to do and the resources you need. So don't be afraid to reach out.
There's no better feeling. I feel like there's a lack of adrenaline once you become disabled, and I can't tell you any bigger smile I've had than when I've gone skiing and water skiing, and just that adrenaline and that you're actually doing something. It's indescribable.
Voices of experience. They know. They've lived it. To watch and download the 10-part series, go to facingdisability.com/Voices of Experience videos.